Introduction. The weight you don't realize you carry, asterisk. There are some wounds that don't bleed. They don't scream. They don't show on the outside. But they live quietly inside of you, eating away at your peace, your joy, your ability to love and be loved. That's what unforgiveness does. It builds walls around your heart, not to protect, but to imprison. We often hold on to hurt because we think that by doing so, we're holding people accountable. We want justice. We want them to know how much they've damaged us. We think, if I let it go, it means they won. But forgiveness is not about them. It's about you. Forgiveness is not weakness. It's not forgetting. It's not excusing what they did. It's choosing to free yourself from the emotional chains they left behind. This is not an easy truth to accept, especially when you've been deeply hurt. But if you're over 25, you've likely carried your fair share of pain. Maybe from parents who didn't know how to love you. Maybe from a partner who betrayed you. Maybe from a friend who abandoned you at your lowest. Whatever it is, this pain doesn't deserve to come with you into the next chapter of your life, asterisk. Part 1. The real reason we struggle to forgive, asterisk. We were raised in a culture that equates forgiveness with being a doormat. If you forgive, it means what they did was okay. If you forgive, they'll think they got away with it. If you forgive, you're letting them off the hook. And because of these beliefs, we hold on. We replay the moments in our heads, tell the story again and again. We feel the same sting each time we remember. But here's the truth. You're not punishing them by holding on. You're punishing yourself. They've moved on. They sleep at night. But you're still awake, replaying a moment that happened 5 years ago. The mind clings to pain as if letting go means betraying yourself. But it's not betrayal, it's freedom. So why do we hold on to the pain? Because it gives us identity. I'm the one who got hurt. Because it gives us reason for our fears. This is why I don't trust anyone, because it makes us feel powerful. I'll never forgive them. They'll regret it. But the power of holding on is false power. Real power is in choosing peace over resentment. Real power is saying, I'm not going to carry this anymore. Unchoose me. Part 2. What forgiveness isn't, what it isn't. Let's clarify something essential. Forgiveness is not saying what they did was okay. Forgiveness is not reconciliation. Forgiveness is not forgetting. Forgiveness is not allowing that person back into your life. Forgiveness is choosing to stop reliving the pain. Forgiveness is cutting the invisible cord that ties you to the person who hurt you. Forgiveness is allowing yourself to breathe without resentment, choking your chest. Many people think they can't forgive because they're still angry. But anger is part of the process. You can feel anger and still make the decision to heal. You're not forgiving for them. You're forgiving for your own peace. And you know what? Sometimes the person you need to forgive is yourself. Asterisk Part 3. The invisible damage of holding on, asterisk. Unforgiveness is like a virus in your emotional system. You may not see it at first, but it leaks into how you trust people, how you talk to yourself, how you show up in relationships, how much joy you're able to feel, how you respond to conflict, how you see the world. Have you ever found yourself snapping over something small, feeling bitter without knowing why, pushing away people who get too close? That's often not just moodiness, it's unprocessed pain. Science backs this up. Studies have shown that chronic resentment increases stress levels, elevates cortisol, weakens your immune system, and is linked to depression and anxiety. In other words, your pain doesn't just live in your mind, it lives in your body. So every time you choose not to forgive, you're choosing to hold on to pain that is physically and mentally harming you. And I ask you, gently, haven't you suffered enough already? Part 4. The turning point, how to begin letting go. So how do you forgive when it still hurts? How do you forgive when they never apologized? Here's where we return to truth. Forgiveness is a decision, not a feeling. And like any decision, it starts with a shift in mindset. Here are practical steps you can take. 1. Acknowledge the pain without judgment. You're not weak for feeling hurt. You're human. Write it out. Say it aloud. Give yourself permission to be honest too. Recognize that holding on is costing you. Make a list. What has holding on to this pain taken from you? Sleep, joy, relationships. 3. Separate the person from the pain. You can hate what they did without allowing their actions to control your life anymore. 4. Write an unsent letter. Say everything you've wanted to say. Don't hold back. Then tear it up or burn it. That's your emotional release. 5. Say these words to yourself: I forgive you, not because you deserve it, but because I deserve peace. Repeat that until it becomes a part of you. 6. Practice compassion. Not for them, but for yourself. You've carried this long enough. Now it's time to rest. Part 5. But what if they never apologize? They might never admit they were wrong. Might still act like the victim. They might even continue hurting others. And that's hard. But your healing cannot wait for their remorse. Sometimes we put our peace on hold, waiting for an apology that may never come. But closure doesn't come from them. Closure comes when you decide the story no longer has power over you, and you don't need their permission to move on. Let them carry the weight of their actions. You walk forward lighter, freer, softer, not because you lost, but because you won. You won the right to peace. Part 6. What forgiveness looks like in real life. Forgiveness doesn't mean your heart doesn't ache anymore. It means the ache no longer controls your life. It means you can think of them without clenching your jaw. It means you can walk by the place where it all happened and keep walking. It means you can laugh again, sleep again, love again. You don't have to forget. You just have to stop letting it define you. In practice, this might mean choosing not to gossip about them anymore, not rereading old messages, not stalking their social media, not letting their name ruin your day, not using them as the reason for your unhappiness. It's okay if this takes time. Healing is not a straight line. But every step you take away from pain, it's a step toward power. Part 7. Self-forgiveness. The pain you inflict on yourself. Sometimes the hardest person to forgive is you. For staying too long, for ignoring red flags, for hurting someone you loved, or not being who you thought you should be. Let me say this clearly. You are allowed to be human. You are allowed to outgrow your past. You are allowed to forgive the version of yourself that didn't know better. And no, you're not too broken. You're becoming. And healing isn't about erasing the past. It's about learning to love yourself in spite of it. Say it: I forgive myself, because I was doing the best I could with what I knew then. Conclusion. Letting go is not giving up. Rising up. When you forgive, you don't lose. You gain energy, sleep, freedom, hope, new beginnings, peace. Stop looking backward. You stop defining your worth by someone else's actions. You stop fighting battles that already ended, and you step into something sacred. The life that's waiting for you beyond the pain, because no one deserves to live in the shadow of what was. It's not even you. So forgive, not because they asked, because they deserve it, but because your soul deserves rest, because your future deserves space to grow, because your heart is too precious to stay trapped in old stories. Final words: let this be the day you set yourself free. You've made it this far. You already know this message wasn't just about them. It's about you. It's about the version of you that's ready to stop hurting. It's the version of you that's tired of carrying it all alone. It's the version of you that wants peace more than revenge. And that version deserves to win. So take a deep breath, say the words even. If your voice trembles, I forgive, I release, I choose peace. And when the past tries to knock on your door again, remind it gently, you don't live here anymore. If this message touched something in you, if it gave your heart a little more space to breathe, I invite you to stay connected with us. Subscribe, to Awaken Mindset, where we talk about healing, emotional intelligence, silent strength, and the quiet power of becoming more. Because this journey, you're not walking it alone anymore. Awaken Mindset, healing, growth, power in silence.